Okay.
All right, now let's look at subnetting. First part of it is we've got to look at subnet masks. So we've looked at IP addresses. Now let's look at subnet masks. What a subnet mask is used for is to be able to compare it to an IP address and figure out which portion of that IP address is the network address and which portion is the host address. So guess what? When y'all send information out, when stuff gets across in terms of the packets, it's also going to include a subnet mask on there to tell it how in the world to look at this address. Class A and subnet masks are going to somewhat, probably to a degree, look to you like you're doing backwards of what we did with network addresses. A Class A subnet mask is going to be 255.0.0.0. I'm going to give you these three, and then we're going to go back and look at what in the world we're looking at right here. Class B is 255.255.0.0. Class C is 255.255.255.0. Now, what we have said here is everywhere there is a binary 1 is the network portion of the address. Everywhere there's a binary 0 is the host portion. So when you look at a subnet mask in binary, it's going to have all the 1s on the front part, and then it's going to have all 0s on the back part, etc. You won't mix 1s and 0s. The all 1s covering which is the network portion, and then all 0s covering which is the host portion. Okay? Now, if it's a Class A address, Class A addresses, the network portion is in the first byte. So that first number is your network portion. So if we use 10, 10 there is the network portion. Then the rest of the number that portion is the host portion. That's the number we've assigned to that machine. And that's why you've got 16-bit addresses you can assign there. You got 3 bytes that you can use to assign numbers to them. Remember, no two machines can use the same number. But the network portion is always on that first part. So you just got to assign a number for your first byte of between 1 and 127. Look at our network mask. 8 1s followed by 24 zeros. Okay, the first 8 bits, or the first 255, is the network portion. So by looking at this mask with the number, we know which is the portion that's the network number, which is the portion is the host number. Class B, the first 2 numbers is the network portion, and the last 2 numbers are the host portion. .255.255.0.0. Now, don't put in your head, although it looks like it from right here, right on it, that it's going to be 255s and zeros on there. It's binary 1s and binary zeros. Class C is going to be a similar one. The first 3 bytes is the network portion. The last byte is the host portion. And remember, we only had 254 addresses we can use in Class C, right? And what's our number range for in that last byte? 0 to 255. 0 is the network number, remember, so we can't use 0. 255 is the broadcast number, so we can't use 255 for our host number. That only leaves 1 to 254, which is how many numbers? 254. That's your subnet mask simply. Now, questions on that one? The subnet mask is merely telling us that address, how does it break apart? Which portion of it is the network and which portion is the host? Now that in a pure IP version 4 class system is how it's going to work. Now the problem is, and this is where I want to try to stay as light as possible in here, because when you get into some of your other classes, if you take MCSE or if you take Cisco, you're going to go a whole lot deeper on this, is I want to show you, and they mention it briefly in the book, so I want to show you this real briefly, about how do you do it that you can break, that you're not stuck to on one of those ranges. We can take a Class C address. So we got given. Iana gave us an address, 193.68.4. We've got 254 hosts we can put on it, but we go, wait a minute, we really want to break it into two groups. We want to have the faculty group and we want to have the student group as an example. Okay? Or you're a business. We want to have the part that's for the payroll and those type people, and then we want to have the part that's for the salespeople. We want to keep them separate, but we want to all use them all in the same big network. We want to break them out into two different areas. Does everybody follow what I'm wanting to do here? And we can secure it better, because we can secure according to each area and say, you can do this, and you can do that, but y'all can't cross over. But we got given a Class C address, and we want to break it on down. We can break this last byte. Remember, we got 8 bits here. We can break it up and say, all right, we want to distinguish that. We want to break this part on into that part of them are on one network and part on another. So we can go further and not just break on the decimal point boundaries, but we can break within a byte. So what we could do, let's say that we do want to split it just into 2 parts. We can borrow out of this host portion here, we can borrow a couple of the bits here and add to this portion to making the network portion, and just have a host portion beyond that. So we could borrow, say, let's say 3 bits. And we can put those belong back to the network. We can leave the remaining ones and put those are actually the host numbers. Okay? And really, I didn't even have to borrow that many to do 2. But we can do more. We can actually do up to 7 here. So, and this is where your binary arithmetic comes into importance. If we borrow 3 of them, we can say, all right, we want to use these 3 numbers to include on our subnet. So we could have, and I'm going to back off and clear some space back up here. We've got 3 bits to work with. So we can have one network that has a 001 as the portion of its number always in this bit, in this byte. Okay? We can have another network that's got an address of 010, another one of 011, another of 100, another of 101, another of 110. Okay? Now we can't use all zeros. We can't use all ones. We've already eliminated those. So that left us with 6 subnets we can create here by borrowing 3 bits. Now then, on each one of these, we can use our final 5 bits to assign the number to the individual host. And that's going to give us our number that belongs to the machine. So, let's say for this network, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 2 hosts out there. So we're going to give one of them an address of 0001, and one of them is 00010. Now I'll come down and do this one as another example. And we'll have a signed dip and a 0100. Just pick a different number. Although usually if you want to number these things, you really ought to be numbering from the bottom or the top so that you won't get yourself confused. Alright, now what number are we actually going to put into this spot here when we type it in? Because we're going to type it in as a decimal number. We're going to combine the subnet number with the host portion to get what